Do you know what makes me really sad? It's when I look at 90% of other people's plans for visiting Japan. Their schedules are often wildly unrealistic, with people always going to the same old tired places. But worst of all, these visitors could quickly transform their trips with some insanely easy hacks. I'm Andrew. I've travelled extensively in Japan over the past 15 years, and in this video I want to share with you the absolute best ways of supercharging your trip. So imagine yourself at the airport. You've just stepped off the plane and you're champing at the bit to head into the city. How are you going to get there? By train? Well, hold your horses there, my friend, because there's an upgrade to be had, and this one is not super obvious. See, I get for how many of you riding the rails is an absolutely integral part of your trip. And I don't blame you. I'm a train snob too, and we have taste, right? But we've got to face facts. A train from the airport isn't just one train. Unless you're staying like a short trot away from the railway station, you're almost certainly going to need to do the final furlong on the subway or the bus to get to your hotel. And if you're trawling along any big luggage, you're going to be contending with extra hurdles along the way, aka hauling everything and your behind to the elevators, lugging cases on and off trains, listening to the wheels arguing violently with tactile paving, and, well, just generally getting in the way of other people. I'm sorry, but it's true. The thing is, you can avoid this madness on your first day in Japan and have a much more relaxing journey into the city by taking a limousine bus. They leave right outside the airport terminals, so there's no extra faffing around just finding the railway station. You need to stow your suitcase once, and then you can sit back looking really smug, have a nap, or look out the window and count how many vending machines you can see as you're whisked straight into the city. But I can hear you shouting, "Wait Andrew, won't I still need to take a subway or bus to get to my hotel?" Not if you're smart, my friend, because many limousine buses actually make a stop at several major hotels in each city, meaning there's usually one stop that's very close to where you're staying. Now let's back up for just a moment, because it seems like we forgot to do something at the airport, something essential to everyone's trip, something you need more than a hole in the head. Wait, that means everything, doesn't it? No, it's not a Suica card, it's phone service, you numpty. Now, to get you hooked up again on that IV drip of Insta-X talkbook, probably you're thinking you've got three choices, right? I mean, you could use international roaming, which is a really good way to go, just as long as the company you're using doesn't believe in fleecing the living daylights out of you. Then of course, you could get a SIM card from one of the specialist providers. You've got to put your own SIM card away somewhere safe and keep it safe, of course, don't lose it. You've got to install the new one, you've got to set it up, and then of course, you run the risk that it doesn't work at all, and doopy-doo, don't do this. What a faff and a half. What's that? How about the third way, Andrew? You know, the pocket Wi-Fi route? Oh yeah. That sounds great on paper. I mean, you can hook up multiple devices to that little box and everyone gets the internet and everything's just the bestest until the battery runs out, and doopy-doo, don't do this either, because it's just another thing you have to charge, and you should be doing the far superior thing, which is get an eSIM. Look, you're young, you're good looking, your phone's probably young and good looking too, and if so, there's a very good chance that it supports eSIMs. Before you leave on your trip, you just go and download the app from the provider, pick the data plan you want, install that eSIM, and when you get off the plane in Japan, it's wham bam, peanut butter and jam. You're sucking down data so fast that that limousine bus ride will flash by in no time at all. I can't recommend this solution enough, because it just eliminates so much mucking about. You'll save an awful lot of time. I put a link down in the description, go check it out. I know that you're just going to love the simplicity. and there's no pun intended there. But what I'm going to recommend to you next is probably going to have a lot of you screaming at me, I'm pretty sure of it. When I work with people on their trip plans, it's a very common problem, and frankly, it's inefficient, it's costly, and it's really just a very poor way of visiting Japan right now. Because look, the days of the JR Pass being a no-brainer for everyone to buy are long gone. So if you want to gallivant all across the country on the trains, you're gonna have to pay through the nose. And that's not all, because even taking the Shinkansen between Kyoto and Tokyo, well, even that's not exactly cheap. It ain't 2019 anymore. Travel in Japan has moved on, and the best way of seeing the country now, without robbing a bank of course, is to focus on a region like Kansai, Kanto, or even a larger area like Tohoku. JR's regional passes for these areas are incredibly good value. Some of them are just obscenely cheap, but you're still going to get unlimited train rides. Of course, there's another advantage of just touring one region on your trip. Imagine yourself travelling all over the country in a limited amount of time, let's say 2 weeks. I mean, you spend hours and hours shooting around on the Shinkansen, but you don't get to know anywhere in depth. If you stay within one region, you drastically cut down on travel time, you max out the time you spend at attractions, and you don't have to worry about scarfing down your ramen just to catch the next Shinkansen in time. And anyway, once you've been to Japan once, there's a very high likelihood that you're going to come back again. So keep that other region in your back pocket for next time. Now, if you're planning your trip right now, I bet you a squillion yen that it's taking you ages. You've got a bunch of questions you need answers to, and it's all quite stressful, especially if it's going to be your first time in Japan. But what if I told you that there's a super simple way of seeing the most wanted attractions, but without doing any tiresome planning? Well, this ain't pie in the sky, it's called taking a guided tour. While I normally like to do all the trip planning myself and visit places under my own steam, tours can be an absolute lifesaver in certain situations. For example, if public transport in a place is really bad, like in Biei in Hokkaido, taking a tour solves that problem because you just hop on their special bus. Plus, if you're really short on time when it comes to planning your trip, but you want to make sure you make the most of your time in a city, guided tours are a great option. And if you're visiting Kyoto, Hiroshima, Tokyo, or any of these other fantastic destinations, go check out one of the tours offered by today's sponsor, MagicalTrip. Just recently, I took their half-day tour in Nara, which had a mix of the big-time temples plus 1 or 2 hidden gems. I was genuinely impressed by the guide because I learned so many new things from her. I've been to Nara so many times in the past, so I really thought I had nothing left to learn. But I was completely wrong. My guide managed to answer every single question thrown at her, even the super difficult ones. And also, I really loved how it was easy to connect with other travellers taking the tour. I think this is a really big plus point if you're visiting by yourself, but you want to meet up with other people during your trip. Now, MagicalTrip keep their tour groups small, which definitely helps, and of course it means you can easily ask your guide all the questions you have about where you are, or Japan in general. So if you want to make the most of your time in Japan, or you want to meet other visitors just like you, or you just want to get knee-deep into the details of places with an expert guide, go check out MagicalTrip. I'll put the link down in the description, and to sweeten the deal, there's also a coupon code for you to use, so go and have a look. Now, if I say to you, think different, your head probably fills up with images of sleek phones and impossibly thin laptops, and you're probably picturing yourself inside the Apple Embassy too. Now, there's nothing especially wrong with silver coffee and hot laptops, unless of course your name is Lewis. But you know, there's nothing especially I don't know, special about them, is there? Nobody goes, I know, I want to get a device that's actually innovative, so I'm going to buy an iPhone. It's the same as nobody meets their date at Starbucks because they want to show off their incredible taste in coffee. And guess what? The exact same thing can be said for your trip. Tokyo, Kyoto and Osaka are all fantastic as places to visit, but if you want a truly unique experience, I'm going to tell you to run a mile from them. Far too many people limit themselves to these extremely well-visited cities, but if you pick almost anywhere else, you'll find far smaller crowds with some of the most astonishing hidden gems that you can dream of. Stay in Tokyo by all means, but why not take a day trip to the Japan that Japan forgot, Sado Island? If you've already made it down as far as Hiroshima, you're within striking distance of Nagasaki with the epic battleship island Gunkanjima, and if that looks like a real-life Bond film location, that's because it is. If you've gained a few pounds scarfing down takoyaki in Osaka, just walk it off in Amana Hashidate, which is just 2.5 hours away. So I'm laying down the gauntlet here. Don't be satisfied with having the same lame trip, just the same as the next guy or girl. Block off 1 or 2 days in your itinerary and pick a place that you've never even heard of, or at least somewhere that's a bit far away. But do one thing for me, make it epic. And if you're finding this video helpful on your quest to make the best trip possible, go drop me a like and then imagine you've turned yourself into a celebrity. Because if you visit anywhere off the beaten path, you'll definitely feel a bit less anonymous because there aren't the big crowds to hide in. You're not going to be a household name, of course, just like Musk, Gallagher or Miss Piggy, and that's okay, but I've got a secret for you. You don't need squillions and squillions of yen in the bank to be treated like a VIP in Japan. There's a far cheaper way, and it's ultra convenient too. It's like having your very own butler. Because let's say you're going to go from Osaka to Fukuoka, and since you've already picked up quite a lot of Pocky and Ghibli merch, your cases are heavier than those sumo wrestlers that you're going to see there. Now, you could trail those suitcases around all through the stations, waiting for those elevators, faff around with finding space on the Shinkansen and generally having a tiresome experience, while at the same time just getting in everyone's way. Or you could take the uber sensible route, which is to use luggage forwarding. Now don't worry, this isn't anything like delivery services in other countries. The chances of your case getting lost or damaged along the way are infinitesimally small, and unless there's a typhoon slowing the country down, your luggage is going to turn up the very next day, unless of course you're travelling really far away. You can send the luggage using this service called Takubin at most hotels right down at the reception desk. Now if they don't do it there, head to a convenience store or your nearest branch of Yamato. Just look it up on Google Maps. As long as you let your next hotel know in advance that you're sending luggage beforehand, it's an absolute breeze. And the very best part of all this, aside from travelling hands-free of course, is that your case will often be waiting inside your room for you when you arrive. Now I know that some of you are going to turn your noses up saying that you don't want to spend extra on this game changer, but it's definitely money well spent. I bumped into a couple visiting recently and they said the price they paid they thought was very reasonable considering just how much hassle it eliminated for them. It's really a lot like using the green car on the Shinkansen. Once you've tried it, you just can't go back. Now luggage forwarding is great and everything, but it's hardly going to be a stellar standout memory of your trip, is it? But don't worry, if you do this final upgrade, I'm pretty sure you're going to leave holding something that's utterly impossible to forget. There's another upside to this hack too, because it often means you don't have to buy yourself a souvenir of your epic Japan trip. That's right, it can be a time saver too. What am I talking about? Well, cultural and craft experiences, of course. These are incredible because they send you headfirst deep into Japanese culture. You're going to connect with a Japanese instructor, and you'll probably meet a mixture of Japanese locals and travellers just like you. I've taken a bunch of workshops on my trips, from making dishes and pots in Shiga and Kasama, to grinding my own matcha in Uji, to printing my own ukiyo-e in Kyoto. But the standout experience for me was down in Yoshinogari Historical Park in Saga Prefecture. There I got to carve my very own pendants, just like people would have done about 2,500 years ago. This got me feeling like I was back in time and living like those people, instead of just touring the park and vaguely imagining what life would have been like living in those buildings. You can usually find experience sessions being held at museums, cultural centres, and the stores of some companies like tea or soy sauce manufacturers. Another good place to look is online travel sites like Vieta or Klook. So you should be all set now to properly level up your itinerary. But be careful, because if you're not, you might just completely ruin your trip. So go and watch this video and pay attention. See ya.